Undisputed Client is out for Minecraft 1.21, and not only that, but they've also had a complete UI update since I last reviewed them. To get Undisputed, you can join their official Discord server, which is linked down in the description below, and you can also use code IT'SME64 to get 15% off. Anyways, taking a look at the Undisputed UI over here, as some of you guys will already know, Undisputed is a ghost client, which means that it's good at bypassing anti-cheats and staying basically under the radar. In the Undisputed UI, we have a few different sections. We have an auto clicker right here, we have velocity, we have reach, a timer, and then some more general customization settings. I'll go over all of these individually and show you exactly how they work and what they do. And we can start off with the auto clicker. As you can see, you can set a maximum as well as a minimum amount of, in this case, clicks per second, which is basically how much you're going to click. You can use a range for this, and basically that allows it to seem less automated and bypasses potential auto clicker detection systems. Of course, if you set it to 18 clicks per second, you're probably going to get picked up anyways. I can turn on this advanced button over here and I'll gain access to the advanced settings, which I highly recommend you do. In Minecraft now, it is enabled by default. And when I hold down my left mouse button, as you can see, we are going to start auto-clicking between the two ranges I have set up there. Now, if you want to be able to turn this on and off, you can set a toggle key by clicking on this button over here. I can, for example, set it to K, just like that. Now, I can use the auto clicker by clicking on my left mouse button. And when I press on K now, it'll be turned off, even if I am pressing my left mouse button. Here we also have some other options. As you can see, you can set the auto clicker to your right mouse button as well. You can enable or disable breaking blocks with the auto clicker, and you can also turn on jittering. I'll turn up the strength all the way so you can see what that's like. I am so good at this game. Now you can also turn on this button, which I recommend, and that'll avoid it from getting activated in menus like your inventory, which helps you organize those. Now moving on to velocity. Velocity in Minecraft is basically how far you get knocked back after you get hit inside of the game. Basically, this is by default set to 1, meaning you by default get knocked back 1 block and get knocked up 1 block as well. That's why there's a distinction between linear velocity and height or vertical velocity. Basically, you can reduce both of these, as you can see. Reducing the linear one will decrease the amount of knockback you take backwards, and reducing the height velocity will reduce the amount of knockback you take upwards. Once again, here I can turn on the advanced settings, and that allows me to randomize them just like we saw with the auto clicker. Here I can set a minimum and a maximum linear velocity, probably something like this. And here I can also set a minimum and maximum height velocity. Now, I believe a tactic that people used to bypass some anti-cheat detection systems was to basically leave the height velocity at normal, because that bugs less when during PvP basically, and reducing the linear velocity, which is usually what knocks you backwards and is usually also what prevents you from, for example, enduring combos. I've set both of them to default, which is 1. As you can see, this is just about how much knockback I'm taking. I gave myself netherite armor, but that's not doing much. I'm gonna try not to die. Anyways, in this case, I will now set the height knockback velocity, to 0. Let's take a look at what happens when the zombie hits me. As you can see, I only get pushed backwards and don't actually get pushed upwards. It'd be great if they could give me a quick break. Let's set the linear knockback to 0. Here we are. Now, as you can see, I don't get knocked back at all. And I'm going to try not to die, but I can now set the height velocity back to normal. And as you can see, I do get knocked upwards, but I don't get knocked backwards. And that is exactly how that works, but not with zombies, but with other people, of course. But that was a little more stressful than it should have been. Anyways, now I'm going to be moving on to reach. I'll immediately take this advanced box over here, which lets me set a minimum and maximum reach. Once again, if you want to fluctuate across those values to make it less detectable. This is basically measured in blocks, and reach, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's how far you can reach in Minecraft. I'll set both of these to 0, just like so. Good morning. Anyways, move, please. I'm now gonna... Okay. These armor stands can show you exactly how far I can reach. Using the auto clicker, I can slowly move towards this, and as you can see, I'll break the armor stand right over here. So I can just place some red wool there, and now I can turn... I always do the incorrect one first. Now I can turn the reach up to maximum. Got the auto clicker enabled, and now as you can see, we break the armor stand once we're right back here, which is a difference of around, in this case, supposedly 2.12 blocks. But my measurements are of course not that precise, but you'll have to just believe it, right? Anyways, that's basically what that does. How do I keep doing this wrong? Moving on to the timer, this is a pretty unique one. I haven't seen in a lot of any other clients. Basically, what this allows you to do is speed up in-game time, right? So, basically, just pay attention to how quickly these mobs are moving right now. I can turn the timer all the way up, and as you can see, I am moving faster. These mobs are moving faster than they ever should be, right? I can also demonstrate this with fall damage, or, well, falling, really. As you can see, I'm jumping a lot faster than usual, and like how gravity works, I'm now falling faster than usual as well. So that is obviously a really interesting one. Now you can take this advanced box once again to fluctuate between two custom values, and we actually also have a lag key over here we can use to insert fake lag. You can set this to anything by pressing on that, for example L. I think I forgot to mention this earlier, but if you want to unbind it, you can simply click on that cross over there, and it'll be removed. Anyways, I can just be walking right here like this. I can hold down L, and as you can see, I'll be inserting fake lag. Trust me guys, it's the lag, I don't have a skill issue. And then last but not least, we have this area right over here. We have the color section of the client. This entire time, as you can see, I've had it on RGB, meaning it just selects all the colors and rotates through them. I can turn this off, and then I can select a custom color that I want to set this to. I can turn the RGB back on. I can make it RGB between specific values, which is pretty cool, as you can see. Now you can also tick this only combat button, which will make sure that the utilities you use only actually get activated when the client detects you're in combat. You can also turn on auto sprint, which is one of my personal favorites. Basically, pretty basic, but it does great work. When I now press on W to move forward, I'm automatically sprinting right now. I don't have to double press W, and I also don't have to use my sprint key. Anyways, finally, we have a panic button as well as a hide key. The hide key, in my opinion, is pretty impressive. I can set this to, once again, anything I want. Maybe I'll set it to T. That actually opens the chat in-game, so maybe that's not very smart. I'll unbind that and set it to Y. Right? Now, let's say I'm just chilling in-game. I press Y. It disappears entirely from my screen. It disappears from my taskbar. As you can see, I can simply press on Y, and it's going to reappear just like that, which is of course fantastic. Anyways, basically, that was that for Undisputed Client. Remember, you can get them through their official Discord server in this video's description and use code IT'sMe64 for 15% off. For right now, though, thank you ever so much for watching, and I do hope to see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.